Defense stocks are on the move. In today's Market Measure, Tasty's chief market strategist walks through trade ideas in defense names and the mechanics behind them. From probability metrics to how trades are actually structured. Stay tuned. Today's research teaches the mechanics that give your trading an edge.
But one of the things that popped up on my radar was the strength in some of these defense stocks. And like I said, when the guns start popping, the stocks start rocking. And they have been outperforming the S&P over the past couple of months. So I don't know who's running the slides, but if you want to go to the first slide, what I did was I went back to December 1st, and these are percent changes. So everything starts at zero, basically. The SPY is my proxy for the S&P 500, and I picked six of the biggest, or I should say 5 of the biggest defense stocks. This is not an exhaustive list, okay? Lockheed Martin, LMT, GE, General Electric Aerospace, RTX, Boeing, General Dynamics. They all make different things. They all, different defense sort of things. And then there's ITA, which is the iShares U.S. Aerospace Defense Stock ETF. Can't trade it. The option markets stink in ITA. But I just tossed it in there. And what you saw, the pink line at the bottom is the S&Ps. And even though the S&Ps have been making new highs or flirting with new highs for the past couple of months, they've been smoked by these defense stocks. Even the worst one, even the lowest performing one, General Dynamics, is still up about 7.5% over the past couple of months. And that's basically because, I didn't talk about it necessarily, but, the Russia-Ukraine war doesn't seem to be calming down. We're, plucking Maduro out of Venezuela. We're taking over, tankers, rogue tankers in the Atlantic. All that stuff requires new equipment, new missiles, guns, tanks, blah, blah, blah. All the bits and pieces that go onto these things. And that's been driving up these defense stock prices. They're significantly outperforming the S&Ps. And as we go back, what's another interesting thing too, guys, and you're talking about implied volatility. If we go to the second slide, I want you to look at something. This is their implied volatility, the overall volatility index for these same symbols. Okay. If you go back, I ran the numbers from November. And they're relatively high in November, but look at what happened as they go up for the past couple of weeks. So like the last third of the chart, in other words, from the middle of December onward, the volatility of these things has been ticking higher. That's because they're coming up on earnings. Earnings for a lot of these symbols, they're going to report in, or late Jan, maybe early Feb. It's a mixed bag. I think, yes, there's a lot of uncertainty. And as a side note, I'm bullish on this season's earnings. The reason is that the numbers are going to be plucked after the Fed cut interest rates. So the low rates are going to be baked into their numbers. These stocks have all outperformed typically their earnings over the past few cycles. And yes, the implied volatility, yes, there's some uncertainty, obviously, but the implied volatilities are ticking up. And even though these stocks have rallied, I am biased bullish on some of these things.
You're allowed to have an opinion.
Yeah.
So, look, do I know where these stocks are going? No. Okay. Do I pretend to know? Am I plugged in to the defense stock industry? No. Okay. All I look at,
but you do live in Texas, so you've got.
I do live in Texas,
and when the guns start popping off, you don't want to be on TP's property. I'll tell you that much. No. TP's got all sorts of.
I got all the toys.
Yeah, he's
going to attack Apollo. What do you got? Llama. What do you have? Alpaca. What do you got?
I got the combat llamas all loaded
There we
up
go.
and
Combat
ready
llamas.
to go.
There we go. I knew it's something. Yes.
So the point is, so one of the things you guys were talking about earlier is that, Tony, you were talking about looking at the skews.
Yeah.
A lot of these stocks, and I was looking at specifically GE and Boeing.
Okay.
I got to say, I was very disappointed in the markets. You guys talked about LMT.
Yeah.
General Dynamics, GD, the markets suck.
Yeah.
Okay. They're too hard to trade.
Yeah.
Nick, go into GD for a second.
Oh, GD or GE?
GD, General Dynamics.
Sure.
You just see another example of something you might like to trade it.
You can't do anything.
You can't trade it.
This is untradeable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even buy the stock here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $360 stock. It's too expensive. It sucks up a lot of capital. So what I was looking at, the two symbols that I thought were okay. They're not great. GE and Boeing.
Yeah.
And I've traded both of those things. Let's pull up which do I have first here? Let's go to the third slide really quickly and just cover that. To emphasize the increase in volatility, the IV ranks of some of these stocks, a bunch of these stocks are higher. So those have been ticking up. Boeing is relatively low. It's that pink line. It's about the same as the SPY. Mm-hmm. It's got like a 14% IV rank. GE is a little bit higher, about 20%. And I base these trade ideas on those numbers. That's basically it. So if we go, let's take a look at the options for a second. Let's go into GE first.
Okay.
That's the one I wrote up, and Tony, you had that loaded up.
GE's near its highs, down $1.30 today, but again, right now.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be buying into strength. Is that something I always do? No, but you know what? I've been wrong on my bullish trades for the past 20 years. Okay?
This is good then. Then you've learned.
If we go, let's open up the Feb options for a second. These are
better.
They're
not
wide.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. They were looking better yesterday, but one of the things I wanted to show you guys, and you guys are talking about it, how do you look at skew here? All I do, I look at the stock price, 326. It's in between 320 and 330. Mm-hmm. I don't need it to be exact in the middle. I go from 320 down 20 points. Pick a number, down 20 points. 320 to 300. The ask price is 480, right? I go to 320 or 330, up 20 points to 350. Okay. 615 on the ask price.
Yep.
Okay. So 615 versus 480. Let me do that math in my head quickly. Oh yeah. 615 is higher.
Yeah.
Okay?
A lot of call skew. Yeah.
That's when we say the skew is pointed upside. Does it mean the stock is going up? No. Okay. It is where the market sees the risk.
Yes.
So you can disagree with that. You can say the market's wrong. The market, they shouldn't be pricing the call skew. Okay. It'll be bearish on the trade.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Take your pick. I happen to be bullish. I think GE going into earnings, I think earnings are going to be fairly strong. I'd bias bullish. But you don't have to. And that's the whole point about these trade ideas. Yeah, right. It's not like, oh, you got to do them.
What are you thinking? On the
I
upside?
was looking at selling, Nikki, the short 310, 320 put spread. It was taking in about, when I was looking at this yesterday, and again, this is all, 24 hours later, so it's a little bit hard. So if we go into GE again, let's take a look at the options. Let's see what we get for this stuff. In 44 days, the 20, buy the 310s, sell the 320s.
Buy the 310.
At the money, just an at the money.
Call spread, sell
put spread. We're selling
at the money put spread.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a call spread.
You want to buy the call spread, right?
Yeah.
No. But sell the put spread. Sell the put spread.
Okay.
Look, clear that up. Buy the 310s, sell the 320s. You take in 352 for that. 30% of this, 1/3 the width of the strikes, and look at some of the numbers.
Now, okay? Before you get here, before you even go to that, one more tip here. Like if you sell the put spread, that's going to be bullish delta. He's bullish on the trade. You could certainly buy the call spread. The 310, 320 would be exactly the same thing, giving you the same long 10-ish deltas. Now the markets on the calls are so much wider, so you're not going to get a good mid price, where the mid price on the puts, which are tighter here, you get a much more accurate mid price. Just a little something to add. I'm sorry, TP, continue.
No, that is exactly right. That is exactly right. And that's why we typically focus on stuff like out of the money options are more liquid in general. So what a couple of the metrics that I look at, I'm bullish. You could be bearish. Look at the same numbers. I like to look at my P50 number. What's the probability of making 50% of the max profit here? It's about 77%. I like that. So I get about a 77% probability of making half my profits. Nick, I don't know what numbers you look for in the P50 numbers, but again, you won't find that on any other platform. And this is how we manage a lot of the zero DTE, SPX trades, things like that. Take half your profit, move on. Yep. And I'm also making almost a little bit over $1.40 of positive theta. So that's a short put spread in GE. Sort of fits the bill for what I would look for in a bullish trade. You could probably find something similar in a short call spread if you were bearish on it.
Okay, cool.
I got it working.
Let's look at the next one really quickly. Let's look at Boeing.
Okay.
And that's an example of a low IV rank. The last slide, Boeing has a 12, 13% IV rank, whatever it is. That's where I'm pointed towards a long call spread. That's it. It's just mechanics. That has what, a 57% probability of making half its max profit. Long call spreads, they almost never have high P50 numbers, and that's okay. That's okay. This is also a trade that has a long call spread that has positive theta. You don't always see that.
Very good, TP.
I am with you. I went with Boeing. I did a diagonal spread on the upside, so similar kind of trade. But I'm playing for the guns to start popping off, which I don't think is a good thing. I don't want that to happen.
No, actually. It is.
But Boeing does
thing.
planes too, so just I'm bullish.
Well,
Boeing.
Nick,
I'm going to go on record and say I hate both these trades, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Nick, here's my whole point with that. I don't really care what anyone's opinion. I mean, I care. I hope nobody gets hurt or whatever, but nobody should care what I think about the global geopolitical environment, whatever. Do I care what the president or whoever's doing it? You shouldn't care. It just matters what the trade is. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's why I think trading, if everybody traded, guys, our national temperature would drop a bit.
If you want to keep learning, check the links in the description below. At tastylive.com, you'll find our learning hub, which provides trader courses, strategy walkthroughs, research tools, backtesting, and trading concepts you can work with. Check out our free newsletters to help you stay connected to the ideas and research provided only at Tasty Live.